Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm Frisman, and we're back. I had a
Let's go, Coronacht.
couple of days where I wasn't really feeling that well, to be honest, and that's kind of what ended up happening. But we're all back now, feeling a lot better. So it was just one of those things that, you can't really do much about. Let's try getting a poison bill going, maybe.
Skelly, how do you know all this stuff, by the way? I mean, no offense, but you're a skeleton who just stands around. Yet you have this wealth of knowledge of the underworld.
Hey, I know people, pal. We'll just have to leave it at that. Now let's see you break some of these bones, huh?
If I must.
And, yep, we still haven't finished with this, so we are going on a full run.
I don't think so.
Ooh, instant upgrade. Let's go on that. Attacks deal damage to nearby foes. Your attack fires 3 shots in a spread pattern. Yeah, why not?
Quite the bow.
Might as well. Go for something interesting this time round. But yeah, I wasn't feeling the greatest the other day, and I end up just being ill. Probably just kind of like doing too much. Yeah, it's probably the excuse I'll give. Excuse.
Right.
Yeah, let's go for the poison. But yeah, I've kind of taken a lot on. Work's been a little more stressful than what I thought it was. I probably wasn't sleeping the greatest, so yeah.
Say, isn't that the overflowing cup I handed down to you? I'm glad you like it, man. I guess it's overflowing still because I figure otherwise I couldn't tell at all.
Dash causes hangover. Exactly what we were looking for. The special inflicting hangover is pretty good though, but Drunken Dash, at least now I can inflict it passively. It's not much of a damage increase, but it's better than nothing. We got the keys. And hearts or gold? Take the gold. The main thing I like about the dodge being what it is like this now is the fact that it can deal with a lot of small minions pretty quickly. As I dodge, it just stacks it up and deals passive damage, which can be a very hard thing to deal with,
Nice try.
against other foes. But yeah. But other than that, I'm feeling a lot better. Although I've got to go back to work tomorrow, which is going to be fine. It'll be fine. Stuff never goes my way. I've learned to accept that. I've been a bit mopey and miserable for the past few days, just on all sorts of things, because
In the name of Hades.
I just did, and it was kind of very frustrating. A friend contacted me, and it was just clearly had other intentions other than contacting me, and being like, "Oh yeah, how you doing?" And I was like, "Yeah, this seems a little bit off." And then suddenly, after a few minutes of conversation, suddenly it was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I want." I was like, "Great." It was actually something I kind of was thinking about, especially while I was sick, because, mind wanders when you're sick as well. there are plenty of times where, like, I used to say to it quite a lot of the time was, pick those up.
Perhaps you know a god called Thanatos. The two of us are very close associates, you know. Do give him my best wishes, should you see him soon.
Attacks inflict doom. No, I really get something better for the attack, so I'll just take that instead. I'm going to a shop, because I've got enough, I think. No. Take the mini-boss to the darkness. But yeah, like, you see like a lot of people doing like this silly thing where they'll like not contact people to see who contacts them first, to see if she genuinely cares about them. I'm unsociable, so that happens on a natural basis anyway. But I think it's kind of ridiculous to try and test your friends like that. If they're your friends anyway, so like, when they don't hear from you for a couple of days, they're the ones that'll turn around and sit there and go, oh, how you feeling, man? I know from you. I'm like, I'm doing alright, you know, so on and so forth. But yeah, it's just weird the fact I kind of like heard from a friend and I kind of got annoyed a little bit that, although it was just nice to hear from them as well and they were doing alright, but just the fact that the only reason I was hearing from them was kind of they really wanted a favour. And it's not one of those ones you really want to expect people to do, it's more the fact that they just wanted to use me for, let's just say, unsavoury services. More or less wanted me to do basically their job for them and then turn around and claim it was their work, and I was like, hell no. Because especially within my general industry. Yeah, let's take a dive, why not?
Might as well.
If stuff like that gets caught at any point, then you don't get to stay in the industry anymore.
It's yours to shape as you see fit, regardless of the fate's design. Together we may twist that path a bit, if you would like.
Yeah, Boon's being better.
Should be working soon enough.
And what? I just can't earn gold. That's absolutely fine if I can't earn gold, but I can gain health. Apparently.
More numbskulls.
But yeah. I know I'm being petty. I always am. I always worry about the simplest things, like, Teleris is, like, we all do it. I think to their friends, like, you know, sometimes you just got to do something without caring about the repercussions of the actions. Because you'd be surprised in how many times you actually succeed by not caring about the repercussions. Like, okay, yeah, don't do something completely stupid and stuff like that, but when something's, like, insignificant or small, you really shouldn't worry about it. Especially when the outcome is more likely to be good for you as well. Like, I've seen so many friends give up on opportunities because of, like, little silly things, and I've been a good example of that as well.
I could use this.
My cast. Yeah. Upgrade my cast, take the heart, heal up. Let's go face a boss.
Time to face the Furies. I'm back.
Red blood. You know what I like about you? The way you bleed.
That is not the type of flattery I'm used to. You're making me a bit uncomfortable, I'll have you know.
Never met a god that bleeds like you. Red. Like a worthless mortal. Come on, let's bleed you dry.
But yeah.
Why you?
But yeah, I kind of like,
She's getting angry.
I would say, I just kind of got to the point where I was a bit shocked by it. From what I said from my friend. What was I also saying a moment ago? My brain has completely lost all train of thought. This is kind of what happens when I get distracted. But yeah, I mean, what was I thinking about the other day? What was I saying? I kind of thought in my brain, now I can't remember what the thought is. I mean, you guys ever do that? Like, it's great for you guys, because you can look at me and think, ah, he's an idiot, he completely forgot what he was saying 2 seconds ago, and just rewatch the video, because that's just how videos work. But I don't have the luxury of that. When I get distracted, that is kind of exactly what ends up happening. It's like you almost like get distracted and your brain goes, yeah, that thought you had is now completely gone.
Get out. Good.
Which is absolutely brilliant. Because I could have been on like the epiphany of something like amazing. Not saying what I was saying was amazing, but
So much for the fearsome furies.
you know. It could have been something like that would have been really interesting, and now I've just completely lost an entire discussion about it. Let's get into gold.
Should help.
Drop HP. No, increase the rarity of my next boon, please. Thank you very much. Sell that because it's useless.
Up we go then.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of what I mean by I've been distracted recently with just all sorts of other stuff, and
Made it to Asphodel.
even now my brain's not really fully kind of focused on things that are in front of me. I've just kind of more just kind of going through the moments or such. On another note, I realised just like how much time seems to like disappear as I've been getting older. I mean, it's just kind of a weird topic, and I got chatting with some friends like ages ago about it, and we kind of came up with the idea, the fact that you don't really tend to like time doesn't really go faster. It's just it's a mixture between like several different things. So as you're younger, the portion of the life that you currently are living is a smaller portion, or a larger portion in compared to the rest of your life. As you get older, that portion becomes tinier and tinier, until it's so insignificant that the moment you live in is not what you technically live in anymore. Yeah?
Time for a boost.
How did you finally got out of there, cuz? Big congratulations due for that. Congrats. The secret's safe with me, of course. The others here, they think you're still at it. Though, I guess you are.
Attacking fast is actually pretty good. My special being fast, that could be really good later.
Let's go.
Depends if we get the boon for it. I hope I do. Yeah, we're getting the boon. So yeah, so like the portion of your life that you've lived currently, as you get older, that portion that you're living like in that moment as the present becomes a smaller and smaller portion too. So it's technically insignificant. The other aspect of it as well is that memories that happens for like an entire day that you can remember tend to get crowded out quite easily because the amount of stuff you can actually remember, and the stuff you end up remembering happens so long ago, it just again iterates the idea that time just seems to be moving faster because you can't remember anything more recent. And that kind of goes into the third thing, which is the fact that as you get older, those milestones that you kind of used to make as a kid that were fairly important tend to disappear. And then this is kind of thing that I end up realizing, like,
My boon from Master Chaos has evolved.
Little Hades, it appears that you are moving right along, almost at an uncanny pace. I wonder how you got to be so fast. Aquatic exercise?
I always with the water, this dude. Ooh, yeah, I'll take that. Random assortment of treasures and stuff.
See.
Yeah, give me more gems. Why not? We'll take it.
That does not belong to you.
And yeah, the sort of like the events that happen becoming, as you would say, not like less, but like you don't get many major milestones in your life. Also goes in the same way of the fact that those milestones that did happening when you were a kid were so much more important that as you got older they became less important. Like I don't remember the last time I was excited for a game release, and that's kind of really sad because there are plenty of games that I'm excited for, but like actually saying that, no, I lie. There was a couple that I was excited for. like genuinely like giddy for, and I would stay up all night just to turn around and like wait to play them. But even now, like they're few and far between, and even then, most of them end up being a letdown, which is another disappointing issue into itself.
I'll take it.
Yeah, okay, if it's a rare, it's good enough to take.
War. Onward. Have to say, the Barge of Death is never late.
And like even now, like I'm excited for certain game releases, like 100%. One of the current ones I'm looking forward to now that I've actually kind of looked into it was Subnautica 2, whenever that decides to come out next year, probably towards the end, which is then like, oh yeah, that's like a year and a half away. Like I honestly I understand that game companies want to like really kind of like hype up their games and stuff. Be like, oh look at this, it's going to be coming out soon. Here's some news, and especially when they're awaited sequels as well, it kind of makes more sense that they end up having to release this news like super duper in advance.
In the name of Hades.
Special Flicks Doom. Yep. The issue I have with it is that it just doesn't excite me anymore.
Coming through. That's what you get.
You know? And like the more I know about the sequels and stuff, the less excited I get. Like this sounds silly, like I was more entertained by the release of Hi-Fi Rush when that came out, because of the fact that I knew nothing about it. It seemed like an interesting hack and slash game that came out. Admittedly, I got it on the Game Pass, so I didn't pay a single penny for it, but I would have quite easily put like 20 quid down. Or even 30 quid. Like, the game was really good.
Worth it.
You know, I mean, those sort of games being that sort of cost kind of make a lot more sense. I kind of just wish, like, you saw stuff like that, but you don't really do with sequels. They always have to announce stuff and
Pardon the interruption.
say what's going on.
Let's get this done. You might want to stand back there, Zad.
And this is kind of the problem, because then what games companies have to try and do is they try to organize, like, when is the best time for them to actually like release information. Like, they're having to organize their releases. You know, just so you understand. Oh, nice, you got a draw.
Clear of them for now.
Delicious.
And inflicting doom that way is better.
Got some zest.
It's a tie. You seemed a little winded there, no? Not even close to the surface yet, either.
Thanks for the vote of confidence there, Than.
You're very welcome. Now I'd better get back before Lord Hades catches on to this.
We'll take the shot now. No, we don't. I can't actually take the shot because I'm looking over in person there. Fair enough. The heart it is before the boss fight. But yeah, like, I mean, a good example of it is kind of Hades 2 at the moment. Is a good example of that. Like, we had a release just of like demo stuff. How long ago now? Like ages. And it's probably been news. I'm not going to deny that.
If I were you.
Like, there probably has been news of like of stuff happening and everything else as well. Never denying that. But as far as, you know, me hearing about it and the development of that news and what it meant for me and everything else, like, I haven't heard any progressions since like like that official release, whenever that was. Like it was so long ago, I generally forgot what it was released on. Like that's how long ago it was. And, like I'm so excited for the game, but it's kind of like diminished my enthusiasm. And it's kind of the same with Silksong for Hollow Knight. Still excited for it, just the release of it was so long ago now, and the information, and it's been so dragged out to the point where, how to say, no offense to developers or anything else as well, or like the people behind like Team Cherry and stuff, but like I just feel like now you're getting to the point where you're in your own heads where this game will never get released because you're never going to be happy with it, or it will get released and it'll be a pile of rubbish because you couldn't satisfy all those little naggles in your head you had, like, before you released it, like, I want to get this done, I want to get this done, we want to do this, we want to do this, and stuff like that. Like, we all do it. But, like, if you just, like, did another Hollow Knight as such, same aesthetic, interesting story and lore, stuff like that. Like, I know it's going to sound like a team of, like, how many people is it? It's not that easy. And probably the amount of times Hollow Knight was in the creation before anything got released, and this is also kind of the reason why I hate leakers with like a massive degree. Right? Like, I don't want to know what games are coming out later this year until they're ready to come out later this year. You know, the first thing I want to know about a game is its release date. Like, that's when I want to know about a game. I don't care when a game is coming out other than that. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't care about its development. I don't care about any other little hidden information until I know about that release date and exactly when it's going, when it's never going to move.
They're already expecting you up in Elysium.
And, what should we take now, actually? Yeah, I might as well take that, distant memory. Attacking Inflicting Doom now is pointless because I've got my special Inflicting Doom. Ooh, hiccup. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts on it for everyone else like listening to this, but for me, yeah. Like, I don't mind some news or stuff like that, and like background stuff of like how they developed the first game, like to give that sort of brand awareness of the company and the fact they still exist before they release a game. But as far as like releasing the game goes, like I just need to know when you're releasing it.
Lights out.
I don't need to know like what's going on in the development cycle, like what new things you're planning to add to the game or anything like that. I really don't care. I'll find that out when I play the game. Like, you telling me that stuff, all it does is it builds up hype that the game will now no longer be able to live up to, and then also just disappoint me on release. And this kind of goes to like the early access games as well. They kind of fall into this sort of same category. Attack deals more damage at close range, or special deals more damage but has reduced range. No, we'll take the point blank shot.
Should work.
Like if they're close, we can do something about that. Yeah, might just skip to the next level and go for HP. Like, I got nothing wrong with like them giving news or releasing stuff. It's just whenever I hear a release date for a game and I just see coming next year or stuff like that, I'm like, oh great. And then the other thing is, like, I've got into this pessimistic attitude now where I will get a games release and they'll say, you know, coming next year, and I'm thinking, okay, so that's like December time, right? Like, nowhere on earth am I expecting it to come in January or stuff like that. And if they go, coming in the first quarter of next year, I'm like, oh, okay, March. You know. It's the same argument when I hear someone go, oh yeah, we finished in the top 3, so you were 3rd. like, please just quit bragging about it. It's just not doing you any favors, especially to me. Because, you know, I don't play by those rules and assuming it's like, oh, you came in top 3, well done, that's great, you came first. No, so if you came top 3, you came third, so just say you came third. And just saying that with game releases, I just got to the point where it's like, yeah, you tell me a vague description of when something's going to come out, I'm going to assume it's at the bottom of that pile of when it's coming out, not the top. You know, I'm the guy that sits there and when someone tells me something is $9.99, I go, oh, okay, it's 10. No plan accordingly to that 10.
Good.
But yeah, it's something that's kind of got a little bit into my skin, really. Just because I've had so many games that I've played that, you know, I was either really excited for or really looking forward to, and they've just been delayed or extended or stuff like that. And it's kind of happening with a few other games now as well. Like, that's the silly thing.
Shiny.
Like, even the developers that I thought were, like, pretty good at managing stuff and everything else as well, they're all doing the same thing. They're all giving, like, half-end release dates. Like, the only one that I probably could sit here at the moment is FromSoft, which is hilarious to think.
Cheers, mate.
Nothing comes freely for the mortals on the surface, nephew. And from the sound of things, it isn't any different with that Charon character.
So the yeah, just give me more of those.
That's better.
I'll pick up that as well.
Which ones are going to be?
Drink and dash, go level up. I need to get the money to get more stuff from the next shop before the boss fight.
Come on, you.
But yeah, like from stuff with Elden Ring, like that's great. You say, okay, by the way, we've got an expansion pass for Elden Ring, like the DLC coming, and like, when is it coming? Oh, in like about 3 months. Dude. And they just release a trailer. There's no other stuff around it. Everything's hidden. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, everyone's now all, like, theorizing and throwing out all the stuff about it and giving all the hype. That'll die off, and then by the time it dies off, it'll be the game's release, so it'll kind of, you know, hype back up again. Like, I mean, come on, like that's exactly how you want to like bring stuff to people. And why do games companies not see that? It baffles me. It really does. Really. But yeah, so like, there are some games I'm looking forward to, and some companies do it really well. But yeah, it's like in some cases, when I turn and say, oh yeah, my hobby is like playing games and stuff like that. I kind of eventually, after a while,
I know you're out there, fish.
Like, I'm more embarrassed on the idea of how much money I've ended up spending on games that I just do not enjoy.
It's a car.
You know, and the amount of games I end up spending money on that then I just kind of, how to say, like, end up not having time for. Like, there are plenty of games I think that, like play-wise are really interesting, and if they were all just like single-player games and stuff and weren't time-gated, I think they could probably be pretty good, like, games. And some of them still are, even with the mechanics that are put in place in them already, but like what I'm trying to play at the moment was a bit of Dragon's Dogma 2, and the basic principle of the gameplay, I like it. You know, I'm back to building my archer build like I always build every time I play Dragon's Dogma. When I play the first one, like that is the build I end up playing. I just go archer and then diversify my bow as much as I possibly can do. But the issue I have with Dragon's Dogma 2 is the so what is it? What is it? The class system and how everything progresses and like stuff like that. Really interesting, and it's kind of cool and stuff. And like I kind of wish that there were, you know, you got to like, I don't know how it works like completely, but like starting off with it, I can kind of get an idea of how I would like it to work, and if that's how it works, it's great. But it doesn't look like that's kind of way it's going to work. Like the principle of it is like you kind of gain experience within the class as you play the class, and then what I would love them to do is like as you upgraded that class, you'd end up unlocking other classes, a variation of that, or if you specialize in 2 different classes, you can then kind of like unlock a special class that merges both the benefits and disadvantages of those classes in a way that would make it feel fluid and natural. I think at the moment there are like 10 classes. 4 of them get the start, 2 you get really early on, and then 4 more that you can kind of get at some point during natural gameplay. But from what I'm being made aware of so far, the Thief class doesn't get like an upgrade to itself. Like everything else does, like, you know, bows, the archer, the warrior type stuff, or, you know, sword classes, the mage gets an upgraded version of it, I think a few times as well, which is hilarious to me. And I think then people have already made the memes of just like one of them classes being absolutely terrible, which is hilarious as well, because it just always is. But I kind of like, I feel like you unlock them from just by essentially just unlocking them. You don't actually have to do anything special, and there's only 10 of them, so there's not much variation. And well, there is variation, but like you can't necessarily like play in the way you're expecting with like the skills that you get. And I understand, like, you know, I understand why to a certain extent. But like my aspect would be, it's like, oh yeah, I would love to be able to pick the archer, then like specially like subclass into the rogue. I probably can get the perks and stuff from them and kind of make that sort of class happen, I guess, maybe. With like abilities and stuff, I don't know. We'll have to figure that out when I play the game fully. But and this kind of goes to show like my mindset on gaming at the moment. Like I enjoy games, but then I'm already looking at the downsides of how stuff is going to interact rather than the positives on how could this interact in a positive fashion. Attacks inflict hangover. Yeah. Yeah, take the peer pressure. Like, I might as well try and see if I can get all those upgrades to the shop. Buy the upgrade. Upgraded Doom for my attack. Yeah, might as well. Yeah. And heal. Hello, Boatman. But yeah.
These two.
I have recovered, as you can plainly see, monster, as has Asterius. And this time, we are filled with renewed vigor to destroy you utterly.
So we're locked in an endless cycle of violence, basically. I guess that's one way for you to pass the time here in this stodgy place.
You take that back about Elysium. Or better, I shall make you eat those careless, inappropriate remarks. Come, Asterius, to war!
Proving a point. But yeah, like instead of just thinking like how cool and combos I could end up making, I'm already thinking like what I want to be able to do. I'm not going to be able to do it. And like, no offense to any like games design or stuff like that, or how they've worked. They probably generally worked really hard to kind of balance the games around the class they picked, and they probably made a really good decision over certain ones and stuff like that. I'm not going to deny any of those. But all I'm going to say is I'm going to come against a point where like I think something would be really cool that's pretty obvious, and it's not going to be in the game, and I'm going to be like, oh. And the problem is, like, at that point, you've kind of lost me, you know?
Watch yourself, my friend. Lord Zeus, I call upon your might.
Have I just, like... Nah, I thought I said that. I thought I just, Like, it's not a bad thing, it's just... I've been ruined by so many games and been disappointed by so many of them as well that I thought would be really cute, like really cool and stuff, and then, like, literally, it's just like they take my money and run, you know? And it's kind of why now the fact that, like, I won't pre-order games unless, like, I know they're from a reputable company beforehand. Which is a horrible feeling to think about, like, me literally trying saying, oh yeah, like, if I know you've screwed me over in the past, I'm not going to pre-order your game. And it sounds, this sounds like a ridiculous thing to say as well. But why even bother making a sequel? Like, if you got the game mechanics down, you could just make a new one, and I think that's what, like, the people from BioShock Infinite are doing with Judas. Because they couldn't take the original BioShock in the direction they wanted to because of, you know, CEOs thinking they were really good at making decisions. I always find it hilarious that, you know, that essentially the game design and everything else as well, it all comes down to probably some slightly hefty white man in his 50 pluses to make a decision on what the young kids like. Like, you know what I mean? That's gonna be pretty good. We'll take that now.
Should I take the trade?
We'll keep all of those. Like, they're still good boons. We'll continue.
Got through Elysium.
Like, don't you all find that absolutely hilarious? like genuinely, that's like the exact idea of end up what's happening with every single games company right now. And if it isn't some podgy white guy in his 50 pluses, chances are it will just be some random white guy in his 50 pluses that thinks that, you know, he knows what's best for everyone.
That is a scuffer.
And then what's worse than that is then, like, when that white guy in his 50 pluses decides that he hasn't had enough backlash for making poor decisions, that he puts the decision making on other people, those are the people then go the complete opposite way of what he was doing and then make even worse games because of it.
Hello.
You know, they go and do the complete exact opposite of what he was doing, but to, like, the extreme, to the point where even that is also terribly done. You know? It's just, it's absolutely hilarious, it really is. Like, part of me would just love to sit there and say, oh yeah, you know, games design and everything else, like, it can be a really difficult business and stuff like that. It's like, I don't think the games designing part is terrible. I think it's all the red tape and bureaucracy that these designers end up having to go through and deal with just to be able to get something they want out in the first place. You know. And there probably is out there. There probably is an interview out there of some developer and some designer talking, going like, "Oh yeah, you know, like we've released this game and stuff like that," and the interviewer goes, "Oh yeah, and you must be really proud of yourself with like of what you've accomplished and stuff with the game," and then you just see the guys go,
Not poisoned at the moment.
"No, I'm not. It's awful. I hate it. Like, generally, this is the worst game we've ever made, and yet people still are like enjoying it, and I don't quite get it." And he's just been like, "Yeah, but what I hate the most is that like people are moaning how terrible the game is, but no one ever wants to change anything about it, and then I'm still stuck here being like, yeah, this sounds great, you know? Because if I don't have a job at the end of the day." You know, like, generally, I would love to see an interview like that. I think, oh, it was an interview done by, like, a British politician at one point about COVID and stuff like that, and, it was such a hilarious interview. Where it's like,
Where are they coming from?
like, neither saying that the person doing the interview
Find something for
or
settlers.
the politician was in the right in any way, shape, or form, but it was hilarious to me in the sense the fact that the interviewer had an agenda by asking particular type of questions to get the answer that she technically wanted from the politician, right? That way she could stir up some drama, misconstrue his words, and basically just go, "Oh yeah, this is what he said." You know, basic sort of journalism you're expecting in this day and age is some sort of taken out of context phrase to drum up drama. You know, I don't expect anything less from any reputable news source anymore. But what hilarious thing was is the guy just didn't dance around the questions. He just literally not like attacked the interviewer, but turned and was like, "When did anyone say that? No, I think you'll find this was said, not what you said." And you know, it was just absolutely hilarious in my opinion. Because that person then was looking at me like, "Oh, I guess, yeah, I mucked up here."
I hate
Oh,
this
damn it.
stuff.
Because at that point then, she wasn't going to get the news story that she wanted, and I thought it was just absolutely hilarious to me. You know, nothing better than when a journalist finally gets their comeuppance. But yeah, like,
Should check this way.
but yeah, there's so many stuff like that constantly nowadays, though, and it's just like everyone always dances around the subject rather than approaching it directly and calling people out when they're trying to like essentially stir things up, with like no expecting for the repercussions of their actions, and then there are loads of people out there that think they don't have any there are no repercussions for their actions because they can just say and do whatever they want and get away with it, and they've always done that because they always claimed that they were, you know, part of a minority, or, you know, daddy did this for them or mummy did that for them, and somehow they're special in some particular way that makes them immune to the law, and we don't really know why.
I'll take it. A quiet taste.
Now this is not an amazing build that I've got. It is not an amazing build. Do I take 2 level ups rather than taking a bonus? Probably, yeah, actually.
Thank you, mate.
Increasing this actually by 2. Yeah.
Gods grant me strength.
Yeah, just do that. And we'll see how going into the final boss again.
Each violent countenance of Cerberus agrees.
But yeah,
I can go.
with food.
Find you, Mother.
I love those little bits of Cerberus being vanquished. But yeah, like what are we gonna do nowadays? I mean, like most companies are so far gone that it's just nothing's ever gonna change. We can try as hard as we want to make a difference, but I always do.
There was a time when Cerberus would never have permitted any soul to exit through that gateway there behind you.
Oh, that can't possibly be true. What about Orpheus, Theseus, Heracles, Odysseus? Countless tales of brave men delving into the underworld, then leaving once they came.
They left on my authority alone, nor did they take for granted my good graces. You believe you are entitled simply to walk out of here, from your birthright and your responsibilities. But I am here to tell you, no.
Someone's a soul loser. But yeah.
Darkness.
Really?
Get out.
Darkness. Prepare.
Really? Like, I got that
Darkness.
But yeah. You know,
A wasted effort.
not much changes these days with many things. To the point where I get frustrated by it, nothing ever changes, and nothing ever improves, because why would it ever improve?
Darkness.
You know?
Darkness.
Like, I mean, I think, what was it up in them, like, one of my past workplaces? Yeah, so I used to work for a particular job that eventually, like, a management position came open for, and there were probably a good amount of people that were there that were skilled enough and, you know, had the knowledge in the foreground, plus the contacts and everything else as well, because they were doing that job for, like, you know, 1 to 2, 3 years and stuff, that could maybe have, like, taken control of it, or if not, like, done it temporarily until a more appropriate person was put in place. Yeah. But instead what the, like, people in charge decided to do is they decided to give it to a person without a formal interview process that had never ever been up or even involved in that department, and the only reason that they got that was because that they were going to quit.
Face me, damn it.
You know? That's kind of the reason, one of the reasons why I left that job was because that happened. Like I've left many jobs because of like stupid management decisions like that. I mean, mind you, that wasn't like the only management issue I had there as well. But that like was the main cause. What made me hilariously laugh was the fact that I even told them that they kind of needed to buck their ideas up as such. But did they? Not really. They just carried on as normal, like nothing ever happened. Cool. No death defiance is used.
Warm up. It is time that we began in earnest.
I completely agree.
Blast you.
But yeah,
This is for your own good.
I just find it absolutely hilarious because then like I've come into the jobs I am now and like I'm paid like twice as much to do less work. Well, not really less work, but like less stressful work. Like, you know, I can apply myself and I can do a fair amount of work in so much less of the time. I'm given my own autonomy to be able to complete that work efficiently, and like for me, it means the fact that I can be more efficient and more effective.
Disrespect from anyone.
And this is one of the things I say to all employers, like, if you get a chance to sit there and like actually talk to yourself and see what they want and what they want to get out of their job and stuff like that, you can genuinely just make them happy. Not only will you get probably more loyal staff in the long run and be able to maintain them for longer, when they leave they're more likely to represent your company in a better light and also give you better opportunities to employ other people in the long run. You know?
I have something for you.
Like, and I spoke to this like company while I was doing freelance work and said the exact same thing. And then funny enough, like 4 years later, we came back and then did some more work for them, and we realised that just everyone we spoke to just had a smile on their face, and they go, like, what happened? And they turned around and said, well, apparently one of you guys said something to our upper management, and like everything just suddenly got better. And it's like, oh, okay. But it is like a massive difference, like just being able to be happy in your own work. People kind of forget, like, just how on earth, how much time you actually spend at work. Okay. I mean, we pretty much have won this anyway, like, losing a Death Defiance isn't that bad. I could tank this boss all the way now, so... There we go. See, my whinging is making me a better
You're not going
player.
to cooperate with me on this, are you? Even now, knowing Mother wants to see me again.
Blast you. You shall ruin everything. With all your damnable questions.
Then die already, and get the hell out of my way.
Garon. Take me home.
Yes.
And there we go.
Of Hades.
This is gonna really have a mess of a build, wasn't it? Like, I had no real synergies and stuff like that, but yeah. Bow builds, always my favourite. I can do really well with them.
Coronac shuddered when I picked this up.
But it does mean we might be able to get some of the aspects open eventually, which is kind of where I want to put all the extra boons to, if I can, and stuff. Much more entertaining.
The surface, windswept, racked by freezing cold, nonetheless instills within the prince a sense of awe and the sublime.
It's beautiful. I'm cold.
I just love how simple the art design is there, and just like how cool that setup is. Both in its simplicity and also its complexity as well. But the lighting is complex, but the actual imagery and stuff is very simplistic. Still hard to do, but...
I'm back, Mother.
I begged the fates that you'd return to me. Perhaps I ought to be more careful how I speak of them. Tell me, how was your journey? What happened?
Father didn't make it any easier for me. Nor would he tell me why he never sent for you after you left. So, I don't know what's going on still, but I wanted to see you again.
I wanted to see you too. Come, speak quickly with me, that our time together here may be as full as possible, all right?
I need to know what happened between you and Father. Why are you here and not with us?
I couldn't live with myself anymore down there. After I left Olympus, a long story in itself, I came to be with your father in the underworld. It was a shock, to say the least. The others in your father's house were welcoming enough, but I never felt that I belonged.
I know the feeling, I think. But you stayed long enough to have me. Those whom I've spoken to about you, it's as you said, they have fond memories of you. And then you even had a child. Did he mistreat you?
No, no. Your father could be very difficult, though he was gentle with me. Soon enough we got on fine. Better than fine at times, but when I was with child, why, I struggled terribly. Because a child born of surface dwellers could not live down there.
Could not live down there according to whom exactly? The Fates?
According to them, yes. According to your father and to Nyx. Even having heard, I took my chances anyway. But when you emerged stillborn, it was too much. I fled. I fled and came to reside here. Above the notice of the underworld. Beneath the notice of Olympus.
But why would Father lie to you? If he never wanted you, or never wanted me, surely he had the means.
I don't know. I'm wondering the same. But oh, look at you, Zagreus. We're running out of time. It's happening again. Stay with...
I'm trying, but I can't stay that much longer, I don't think.
Oh, my dear son. Then please, ask Hades what you asked of me. Why he would lie. Tell him I must know, the same as you. And you farewell.
Until we...
And there we go.
You.
Another run complete. Let's go and talk with everyone.
I'm up. Whoa, what happened to you? You just died? You just plain died, like nothing stabbed you, bludgeoned you, poisoned you, burned you, crushed you, blew you to bits, turned you to stone, but you're back here. Must have been those natural causes mortals talk about.
Probably.
How could he? You.
Quite a mess you've created, I must say, Father. After being of no help whatsoever when it comes to disentangling it all. Though this isn't the place to talk, right?
No, it most certainly is not. Though I take it shall not be long before another of our private meetings then.
Count on that.
Just please be careful where you go after you eat all this time, okay, Serby?
Serby! Oh, that's right, his name is now Serby.
How did it go, lad? You've been gone a while. For good reason, I hope.
I found her again, sir, and we were able to talk some more. But I have so many questions left for her, and Father's certainly not been of any help.
Well, first of all, good work. I knew you had it in you. Secondly, you know what you have to do. Go find her, for as many chances as it takes. It's not just her you've sought. It's the answers to those questions that you have.
Yes, I will.
What?
Ah, he's down here.
You took Lord Hades down. You really did. I've never seen him quite like this before. I could scarce believe it when he came up through the pool of sticks himself.
Seemed only fair in the grand scheme of things. He slew his own parents at some point, right? I think the Fates enjoy this sort of thing.
Come on, Zag. Take some credit where it's due. Though, you'll forgive me if I keep my distance for a little while, as I think you have some issues to resolve. You watch yourself.
I'm planning to.
Everyone's so proud.
Orpheus, you know about the time I vanquished 7 legions of bloodless warriors with both hands tied behind my back while hopping on one foot? Lord Poseidon dared me to do it, you know.
Why, that is a spectacularly vivid tale, Zagreus, and most deserving to be chronicled in song. Would that there were a poet here still willing to commit such deeds to verse.
Would that there
You
were,
reached the
mate.
surface.
Nix, why did you never send word to Mother that I lived? You knew at least approximately where she went. You and Father, you could have spared us so much pain.
I swore a binding oath never to say, child. I have already circumvented it as much as can be done. Know that I acted with only her well-being in mind, as well as yours.
What are you doing here? I heard you finally made it out. What, did you break out of here only to die in some pathetic way on the surface?
Yep.
Long story, but yeah, boils down to what you said, more or less.
So you're going back out there again? Well, it's your business, not mine. For your sake, I hope it's worth it.
It is.
What can we buy down here? Ooh, diamond. We can sell some blood to get a diamond. Not really worth it though. I do need more keys though, don't I?
Look at what I caught, Chef. Pleasure doing business.
Nice, nice. Not going to deny that. Let's see what we can build as well.
Prices are a little steep there, I must say.
Yeah, I don't have any many diamonds at the moment, do I? To kind of like unlock stuff. But I will need to be able to do it at some point. Unlock all of these things. Let's just get the keys. Get as many keys as I possibly can do. That way we can finish off the...
Sure, why not? Chthonic keys.
We can finish off getting as much darkness as possible then, and unlocking all the abilities and everything else as well. Because that's kind of the main problem I have at the moment, is I want to unlock everything on this wall. But, unfortunately, currently, I'm unable to. Oh, cool. Can still keep going. Don't know when that runs out. But I need 30 anyway, so that's kind of what we're aiming for. But yeah, and next run, going with the sword. Ooh, interesting. And maybe, don't know, if we've done one of the sword ones, we might see if we can unlock one of the aspects for it. I don't really know. We'll have a little feel about that.
The path toward the surface lies somewhere beyond all that.
Could be interesting. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now. Hopefully we'll go back to a normal upload schedule. I might do a kind of surprise extra stream to kind of make up for not feeling that great over the past few days anyway. So maybe I'll be on the lookout for one of those. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, do leave a like, subscribe to see more. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.